Welcome to the Tunis scenario deployment phase. Axis forces in Africa have been forced back into an ever-shrinking bridgehead in northern Tunisia. With nowhere left to retreat, few supplies, and even fewer reserves, the Africa Corps makes its last stand as the Allies launch their final offensive on the continent. Africa HQ dispatch. We don't need to worry about that because that does not relate to us. Alright, so here is the British First Army. Oh, I forgot to put down supplies. That's okay. So, this is more of just a preparing for the battle, an overview of the battle itself, as well as our objectives, some enemy placements, and where we can bring reinforcements in. The British First Army is hot off of its victory in Wadi Akarit after 5 episodes of fighting, and some of the forces are a little bit more exhausted than the others, but we're in good spirits. We have a lot of veteran troops now, some green, some just regulars, but we're ready to keep the momentum going. Now, currently we still have no U.S. officers, and so we cannot bring in any U.S. troops, but you can enlist down below. You can comment and enlist as a U.S. officer or a United Kingdom officer, and each of these units is tied directly to one of you viewers. We have... Oh, that one I forgot to put the name, but there we go. Lieutenant Justin, 2nd Armored. This is Lieutenant Prefenol's forces. Lieutenant FFL of the 3rd Armored. Then, of course, myself, I'm Lieutenant Sir Squire, at least currently. I'm in command of 2 British infantry units, the 7th Infantry and the 2nd. Then we have Lieutenant Neuralnet. You have been promoted. You are in command of the 2nd British. You'll also be able to deploy. We're going to be introducing a new concept into these scenarios with deployment. That if you are a new officer, or if you are an officer who has gained a higher rank and thus able to command more troops, you'll have more control over what those troops are, what their composition is, so you can check out down below with the deployment. Let's see, Stasnak has the 8th and 9th, with Llewellyn as the 6th. You've also been promoted, so you'll be able to bring in a 2nd unit. Same with FFL and Justin, as well as Prefenol. Basically, down below there'll be the information, so you don't have to try and figure out who has been promoted, who has what units. But you'll all be able to bring in new units, up to 2 if you are a 1st Lieutenant. You can also find the ranks down below as well. Now, currently, we are out of airstrikes, so we don't yet have air cover to cover us, and there are no airfields to grab on the map. So that means we can get up to 1, but we can't go any higher than having 1 airstrike per turn. So that's something that we'll need to be aware of. Now, the main front of the enemy that we'll be facing is the Italian First Army. They're dug in on the mountains. It is probably the worst angle of attack, and so you'll be able to tell me if you want your units to go around in different directions. Otherwise, the general assumption is just moving towards the objectives. Now, we have 4 main objectives. That's goofy. There's too many objectives that the game can't handle it. Because these count as objectives, but they're just here to help you know where you can deploy units. So the United Kingdom has 3 areas, 3 hexes that new units can be brought into the battle. The UK deployment, US-UK deployment south, and US-UK deployment north. The United States has 4 hexes that they can bring new units into. US deployment north, US deployment south, US-UK deployment north, and US-UK deployment south. With the idea being that we can hopefully get some American troops. They will be green, but green is better than none, to kind of contest these northern objectives. Otherwise, the British First Army will just slowly push up and make the slog towards Tunis. Kind of like what we did with Wadi Akarit. Exactly what we did with Wadi Akarit. We just had to slog our way up north without support from other flanks, but that's all right. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, we have a few extra UK steps to help with some of the steps, or some of the units that are a little bit undersupplied. And then, of course, we have another 25 pounder. But we'll be able to bring in more units, or more steps and specialists as well. This is just literally where the units were at the end of the last scenario, Wadi Akarit. And so now we plan our attack of Tunis, and it's either Bazere or like Bazerte, as well as hoping to see if we can capture these objectives. It is May 1st, so we are about a week behind where in the base vanilla campaign is. But that's just because we're slow. So that's alright. I think we have if we have to, we will be able to take Tunis without reinforcements, but I do think this will be an ample opportunity, because it's the start of a new scenario, to get peak interest of new people and get some more enlistments and new troops, whether they be American or British. I look forward to your enlistments. Alright, so that is the conclusion of this overview. Very short overview at the moment, but we'll have more details down below, as well as feel free to ask any questions, because yes, this is... should have opened with that. Oh my gosh. So this is Viewers Elect, although we might change the name to Viewers Command, where you, as viewers, all of us collectively together, are determining the outcome of this playthrough, where we're doing all the campaign scenarios, but it is with viewer-created and viewer-commanded units. Thus, the potential switchover of names to viewer command instead of viewers elect. Like, you elect to participate in battle? Okay, Shakespeare. It's you are commanding troops. So, that is... I should have opened with that, of like, yeah, this is, it's all of us in there. But, oh well. So, hope to see you in the enlistments, and we'll get to... This is the pre-deployment phase. Then next week, we'll have the first episode of the battle. The battle for Tunis.